attitude. My girl, she rude, got a bad attitude. And now we're going up a little, just a little. And break it down just a little, just a little. Don't you be too sentimental. My money so bad, you gotta live. I don't know what it is, baby. Sure is funky now. Sure is funky now. Sure is funky now. Say, I don't know what it is, baby. Sure is funky now. Sure is funky now. Eh. Hola, hola,
Hi, caller. Good morning to you. Oh, wait.
Yeah, you're killing me.
Hi, good morning, caller. Sorry, I've done on the wrong volume. Good morning to you, Mr. Dave Roberts.
How should I respond?
By saying good morning. Good morning to you, Dianna.
Well, thanks for helping, because that sounds so formal. You make me feel. You make me feel like Doctor. You make me feel like Dr. Thompson. You know. I mean, thanks.
So what's wrong with that?
I don't want to sound like nobody else. I want to sound like Dave Roberts is right.
So, but you're sounding to me as if you're saying you don't deserve an official greeting.
No, not that. Not that.
Okay then.
Man, I welcome that. I welcome that and more from you. Hi, Roleza. Unless you turn from, you know.
Yeah, man. I believe so.
You're going to say something? You believe so?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi to you. Hi to, as you come to the end of the year, there's so much to reflect on. And a person like me who would have lived to see many Christmases. By the way, I was actually a Christian, because I know you. When they say night longer than day, what I really mean? Night longer than day. You're supposed to have the answer right at the tip of your fingers, huh?
Not.
I love them kind of thing.
Yes, I do, but night longer than day. I've not heard that one. I have heard, I wonder if it's similar to moon does run until day catch 'em. Is it similar to that? No. Okay.
It's related. No, but in some parts of the world, the amount of date like ours is only 6 hours, 7 hours. The rest of it is nighttime. That's what it's saying.
Okay. Dave?
Yeah, but that's a good old Vinci saying. Since I'm young, I remember growing up with that. And sometimes you don't get the answers, or you don't get it. Well, you don't know what it means until you grow up and you're hearing these things being repeated in your ears, and then how they use them. Then you yourself come to your own understanding, of this kind of thing. By just a night longer than day. My conclusion with that is that, so many things could be done in the night on the cover. Not like daytime when you could see. And even now, daytime, things happen and you can't even see.
True.
But that's my own answer to the question I put to you. Just testing your brain to see how you're thinking and all of that.
To see if it's still working at the end of the year.
Well, okay. I don't know if I could come back in, Dave. Do you know June?
Yeah, come back in. Let me hear what you have to say.
Yeah, June is the end of June is the longest time. We have 13 hours of sunlight, whereas at the end of December we only have 11 hours of sunlight. Now, if you look at 24 hours in a day, 13 from 24 gives you that in June, the daytime is longer than the night. Whereas at the end of December, the night is longer than the day. Yeah. And so that is used a lot in agriculture, the long days and the short days, if you've ever heard that term.
Yeah, I've heard it, but not as it relates to agriculture.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you something. It's I don't try to say it's very much related in relation to cannabis. And they look at the amount of sunlight that a plant is able to get, the long days and the short days. And, a lot of people could tell you a lot more about it. I've only brought it in because there are a lot of people who have a much deeper understanding of this than I do.
Yes, that's true.
Well, you talk about cannabis, you have become a real cannabis expert. The days when I know you, I don't know if you had intentions of becoming a cannabis expert and could tell me all these things and so on. I used to want to go to North Leeward with all the with the makeup of the topography of the country, and to see. I saw some pictures of where people went to plant ganja, marijuana, and that has so much deep. So I guess you have been down. You have been in the belly of cannabis business.
Well, let me tell you something. David, sorry to come back in again, but you only find out some of these things later. Do you know that we have a very special soil in St. Vincent? It's called molic andesol. It's a volcanic soil that has a high amount of phosphate that allows things to grow. That's why our root grows so well in the north. And that's why cannabis grew so well on the slopes of La Soufrière, because the phosphate and the minerals and the nutrients that were there from a volcanic eruption were amazing. And luckily, the soil didn't have a lot of the pollutants like lead, mercury, arsenic, and those other things. So there was a science behind it that, when you used to travel down there and just make an observation of what's up there, you wouldn't have understood some of the vital reasons. And now there's a science behind it. And you may only pick these things up a little later.
As we evolve, I understand we understand all of this.
Yeah.
And I think you should compile, or you should.
We talk about it all the time. We talk about it all the time. We talk about these things all the time. But at the festival we just had, we spoke about these things. But you're right; these things need to be a little bit more widespread. But you don't always get the opportunity to talk about them because we're talking about other things. We talk about a wider variety of things. You know what I mean, Dave?
Yeah, we mix up. There's some things that should be given priority, in my humble opinion, so that those future generations could get an appreciation or have an appreciation for our countries.
Yeah, Dianna, I don't know if you've heard this term. If you plant a Vincentian, they will grow. Dave, have you heard that term before?
Yeah.
And I did not realize that it's because of our fertility of the soil. It's so I thought that if you plant it, and it's because of just what I'll tell you, this molic andesol type of soil that we have.
Well, someone heard about
I tell you something. Yeah, well, there's a science behind it, but it's good to gather a little piece of this.
Let me ask this question.
Sure.
You bring back something I have heard of many years ago. Is it true that when you're in those cold countries, that if a man urinates before the urine drop on the ground, it's frozen? Is there any truth in that?
There are some places that I don't think that that's exactly true, because in terms of your urine, your body temperature, it's hot, and so it wouldn't the temperature wouldn't drop. But guess what? As soon as it hits the ground, in a very few seconds, it would tend to freeze. But boy, those places, the Arctic, the Antarctic, and so forth,
that's what
you go into water.
I have grown up with that in my mind. I heard, when I was a little boy, those people went to these cool countries or talk about these cool countries. Dianna, you know about that?
A bit of exaggeration.
I've heard of them. I haven't been there, but I've heard stories.
A bit of exaggeration.
Yeah, so as he mentioned something there that just came to my mind. Anyhow, before I go, let me, Christmas for me, after I became a senior citizen, is not the same like when I was young, like Dr. Thompson, right? I mean, and he's still playing around. But I just want to quickly say that, with age comes a lot of experience, and I mean, it's a good thing. I love to say I born in the 20th century, but I'm still living in the 21st century. I love to say that, because some things that I have lived to see happening, I never dreamt in my younger days that these things will occur in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So life is a continuing experience of so many things. Some of us, with as bright as we are, some of us don't even know what to expect or what the future holds. I have come to that conclusion. Nobody got to believe me, but in life, there's so much to learn, and I just want to tell all those people who now come, who just born, as they would say, learn, experience what happens every day of your life, and see how you can process that to be a better person. My biggest concern by 2024 is that the trend continues where our criminal lives, those of us who choose to live a criminal life, I don't know how I can talk
so if we don't have much time, where we done gone way over time.
Yeah, but I'm just getting my message across there.
Yeah.
To those who can see, those who can hear, they will have to feel. All right, take care. I'm gone.
Thank you. Right. Roleza said good morning to you and I, Dr. Thompson. Morning, Roleza.
We're going to ask where she is, what she's doing, what she's up to. I mean, I go away to Thailand and those are places I call it and I say where I am.
Roleza?
No, it's all right. Business is no business. We want truth. We don't want truth.
All right, Roleza is enjoying herself, I hope, relaxing and doing all the things that she needed to do. Get it all out, all the things you had planned for 2024. You have, well, not just for Roleza, but for all of us. We have 2 days, or day and some, to finish off your 2024 to-do list. If you have not done that as yet, you have any things left over? Or you're good?
No. Let me tell you something. I've stopped having to do this. I'm thinking about next year. It's great to some extent when you could think of wiping the slate clean and starting afresh. I hope 2025 is a new year for the Caribbean. You've heard me mention it.
Yeah.
Belize had its highest murders, 74 murders. Do you know the amount of murders in Barbados? The record amount, 49 murders in Barbados. St. Lucia had their record last year, and they're celebrating that they only had 70-something murders this year. Trinidad, saying it's the highest amount of murders, 2024, 606 murders in Trinidad. Don't talk about Jamaica. But Jamaica had tops the Caribbean. But guess what? They're celebrating that there was a 9% reduction, over 1,000 murders. I tell you, something is going on in the Caribbean. And I know there's some islands that they ain't having this, but I had to bring it up. What's happening in Barbados, in St. Lucia, in Antigua, in Belize, where the Garifuna people are, in Trinidad, in Jamaica? What's going on? In St. Kitts, the numbers are not like ours or anywhere, but it's record numbers. So something is funny. Something is funny going on. Some people might think, well, the problem is only in St. Vincent. But if Barbados has 14 or 49, is not as much as we've had, But, in a couple of days' time, somebody will say, well, there's been 0 murders for 2025. You kind of wipe the slate clean. You reflect on 2024, but it's kind of wipe the slate. And I just hope there's a positive year. And you know what? There's still going to be murders. If there's 20 murders, we'll say, hey, only 20 murders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's 20, and 20 is still plenty. You know what I mean? Oh, gosh.
Yeah. I am just hoping that in 2025, you know what? I'm not going to bother hope. Reality hit me immediately before I got my thought out. So that's good. That's good, I think. But I don't want to have to be talking about any more homicides, murder, anything of the sort. I hope that our young men and women that find themselves in these things, I hope they would wise up and understand that just because people expect you to do something doesn't mean you have to do it. Sometimes you have to, as we say in Vinci, bust people out. They expect you to. Some people out there were expecting to hear murders in 2025. How about you shock people and have no killing, none whatsoever when we leave 2025? What will they say? But I don't know. I don't know, that's just my piece. Roleza said she's currently fixing her machine, by the way. So she's she's not vacating so much. She's now being mechanic. And Dave, she said to tell you good morning as well. All right, so we have about 5 minutes, and we're supposed to be talking about the dengue.
Well, I
can
can
get some
quickly-
information on the dengue, but we have our 9:20 segment as well. So what we don't finish now, we could always,
I can do this real quick. I can do this quick.
thing. Okay.
Mosquito-borne diseases have been around for a long time, whether malaria, yellow fever, but it's a group of these diseases: dengue, Zika, Oropucho, West Nile virus. They're all very similar. And right now, there's a warning from PAHO that there are 3 illnesses we should be worried about: dengue, H5N1 avian flu that's coming in, and Oropucho. Now, Oropucho doesn't have the death rate, but dengue, this is 2024 has been the highest death rate. You talk about death rate for murders and so. This has been the highest death rate for Latin America and the Caribbean. 7,700 people dead. 12 million cases. And you should know that dengue comes with 4 strains. There's a 5th one, 4 strains. And you could catch one of them and you're immune for life for that strain. But guess what? If you catch the others, you may think, well, okay, you can fight off the others, but guess what? It can be worse. Now, 80% of people who get dengue don't even know. It's asymptomatic. But the other 20%, they can have a series of symptoms. It starts off with fever. And I'm not talking about fever, we call low-grade fever or moderate grade, high-grade fever, 105 degrees. And within about 5 days, you could develop a rash. Now, if you're black, dark skin, you may not see that rash. And then, when it comes to the rash, you then have pain in your muscles, in your joints. You have nausea, vomiting. You could have loss of taste. You can have muscle aches and so on, things like that, and fatigue, swollen lymph nodes, and some people have cough and nasal symptoms and a sore throat. Now, guess what? Doesn't that also sound like the flu?
Oh, I was just about to say that.
That sounds like the flu. And so it's hard for doctors to be able to tell what is what. And usually we could do some blood tests. Remember COVID, the PCR test? That's a different test. But you could do a rapid test, like a rapid test, and that could give you a little idea whether it's dengue or Oropucho or what it is. Because they're all similar. And Oropucho is the same. But here what? A certain percentage of people will go on to develop what we call severe dengue. The vomiting, not just persist. And other people that develop abdominal pain, the abdominal pain that persists, and you start to swell. You start to accumulate fluid in your legs. You know how your ankles start to swell? Or the fluid could accumulate in your lungs, and you start to cough. And worst of all, you start getting lethargic, sleepiness. Then your blood pressure could drop, and you could start having bleeding from your nose, from your mouth. That's when you start seeing severe dengue, and you can have organ failure. It's a serious illness that has to be recognized. But the most important thing about recognition is not when you have the symptom, but preventing it from taking place, preventing it. Now, guess somebody with dengue, after about 5 days, the amount of virus in their blood is highest. So if a mosquito comes and bites someone who has dengue, after about 4 to 5 days, that mosquito will be sucking up blood infected with dengue. And these mosquitoes, they don't like to feed. Man, mosquitoes are adulterous. They don't feed on one person. You know, they love to jump on somebody else. And in the same, but you know, these mosquitoes, they don't travel far, you know. you wouldn't find them more than 50 meters, 100 meters away from a household, places where cities and collecting water and all that kind of thing. But if they're going to bite somebody else, they inject the virus into them.
Mm-hmm.
So if they bite you, right, truthfully, it takes a little while before the virus processes in their body. It's not the same day. But later on, they go and they bite somebody else. They can now inject that virus, that dengue virus, into somebody else. The bottom line is that by protecting yourself, the type of clothing you wear and everything, like mosquito repellents, but more so removing the utensils, the bottle caps, all those things that are around your house.
Coconut shells.
Tires, coconut shells, a juicy
cover,
plastic bottle, all them kind that we throw away and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes I'm glad that we do collect plastic bottles for sale, because those things will be breeding ground. And it's a serious thing. So dengue can be really prevented. Yeah. And luckily in St. Vincent, we have the type 2. But what's causing the disease around the world right now, around Latin America, is a type 3. But I fear type 3 may come to St. In 2020, we had been experiencing type 2 all the time. Type 3 came to St. Vincent around the time of COVID 2020 and killed 13 persons. We hope the type 3 doesn't come back. Right now, the type 3 is in Martinique. And if it's in Martinique, it may go to Dominica and St. Lucia. And if it goes to St. Lucia, next step is St. Vincent. But we're going into the summer, the dry season. But when a mosquito larva, an infected larva, is put out there, guess what? When it starts to grow again and start to bloom again, it grows back infected with the same dengue. So they get born ready to bite and infect the dengue. So that's a little bit. I took a little longer than 5 minutes, but we gotta deal with this.
All right. Good. So it was good information. It's information that is necessary for us. I hope that those who are listening would definitely be taking heed. And of course, as I always say, pass on the message to persons around you. With that, we are heading straight out of our talk segment at this time. George and Anne on the live, a special good morning to you. We are going to head into our bank rates at this time.
99.9 WEFM.